Good morning, joggers. Let's talk about apples falling to the ground. So, at least where I live, you can always see it. One more apple tree there, and many of the other houses and yards and so on, they have apple trees, and by the looks of it, when you walk around and you see, at least it looks like there's going to be a lot of apples, but we don't know how much of it that would be edible. That can be various, but we get some good end summer warmth and sun, and I believe that it's going to be a lot of edible apples also, not too sour. But the issue is, of course, when you have so many apple trees, and where each and every person has an apple tree in their garden or their yard, then you end up with a lot of excess of apples. And let's face it, I don't believe not everybody at least would be able to take care of those apples during a season. So what becomes evident is that a lot of apples you can actually find just lying on the ground, rotting away. And what to do with those apples? Well, nobody's gonna just pick them up, unless they want to pick them up and remove them from their lawn, so they can mow their lawn in peace. Or actually, maybe they just run the apples over with their lawnmower, get the job done that way. No, the issue is, of course, that if you're living in such close neighborhood, a lot of houses and so on, the natural apple eaters, if you can call it like that, they're not going to be coming into your yard, because they're not going to make it there. They may be coming to the outskirts, like let's say deers and smaller animals that may be interested in eating these apples. They're going to be staying out there and not venture forth so far into the neighborhood. So, and what do these people do that have all these excess of apples then? Because maybe they will eat a couple of apple pies. Let's say that maybe they have moderate interest into making some kind of preservation of the apples, like making apple juice. This is not something maybe, but let's say some kind of apple jam. Then they make one or two batches maybe, and then that's it. And maybe they're gonna start and eat some of it, but not of all of it. They're gonna be able to, so they just maybe put it down in their cellar to keep it a little bit longer. The excess apples. What do you do with the excess apples? So, of course, there's some nature behind this as well. A lot of wasps, a lot of insects is gonna eat them, and also anything in the ground, right? Like earthworms. There's gonna be something that's gonna eat it. There's not any bigger animals. And then it's gonna go all around it, because energy is not gonna disappear. Energy is just gonna convert into something else, and in this case it may be like soil, right? But excess apples, then there are some companies actually who have the brilliant ideas. I want to walk down here for once. They have the brilliant idea that you collect all your apples in your yard, and then you hand it over to them. So what they'll do is they'll take all of your apples and they'll make a product out of it. Of course, it's not always 100% free, unless of course you hand in, I would think, a larger amount of apples. Then you'll get a couple of products for free, and then they'll keep the rest as a kind of payment, which then they in turn can sell. The only thing you could wish about was that there were more of these companies, and that people actually got some more attention to actually doing that, like handing over their apples before it's too late, before it ends up on the ground. But unfortunately you do see a lot on the yards. Oh Jesus Christ, there's a lot of these rabbits everywhere. Here also. They don't seem very scared. Don't seem scared at all. I guess what I'm trying to rant about during this walk is just that people should be more aware of these companies actually existing and make the right choice. And the right choice is, of course, to maybe for yourself, like make your products at home, right? A couple of products that you tend to do every year because you have an apple tree. So or any kind of tree, right, that produces anything. You have that in your yard. You put it there for a purpose, or if you didn't, at least somebody at some point in the history of time put it there with the intention that you should have, or they should have, some apples during the season. So make a couple of products, make a habit out of it. Make a couple of products for the season. The rest of it, turn it in to some of these companies, so that they can make something decent out of it instead. Because it's a lot of energy going back to the soil again. So if you want to make something that everybody can benefit from, the suggestion would be, of course, to do that. Oh, this is a steep slope. Good for the exercise. Come on. There's so many bunnies here. Bunnies and rabbits. They'll eat all the apples. And that's why there's so many of them. Because they breed like rabbits. So it's like becoming, you need to call the pest control.